We're going to begin tonight with breaking news. President Trump is back in the Oval Office and back on camera tonight, 2 days after returning from the hospital. In a new video produced by the White House, the president says he feels perfect and calls his infection with coronavirus a blessing in disguise. He also says the experimental drug therapy he received is a cure and that he plans to make it available for free to all Americans. Now, that might be overpromising the drug made by the company Regeneron because it has not been approved by the FDA and was only given to the president under a special exception called compassionate use. Now, the president's decision to return to the West Wing is not only putting his staff at risk, it violates his own government's guidance that anyone who is infected should isolate for 10 days. Now, in a written statement today, his doctor said he does not have symptoms, but he did not say if it's safe for Trump to interact with others. Now, the president's new video tonight also risks upstaging his own vice president, Mike Pence, just hours before the debates that he debates the Democratic nominee, Senator Kamala Harris. That face-off, which begins in just a few hours, will now feature plexiglass dividers between the candidates because of the president's infection. There's a lot of new reporting to get to tonight. We've got our team of correspondents standing by. CBS's Ben Tracy is going to lead off our coverage tonight from the White House. Good evening, Ben.
Nora, good evening. Since he returned from the hospital on Monday night, President Trump has spent most of his time inside the White House residence tweeting more than 100 times in just the past 24 hours. But he's not isolating. He returned to the West Wing, potentially exposing what's left of his staff. A Marine posted outside the entrance to the West Wing today signaled President Trump, still infected with the virus and believed to be contagious, had returned to the Oval Office. Two top aides, including Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, were also in the room, said to be wearing protective gear, but still risking exposure.
It just made me better, okay? I call that a cure.
The president also released this White House-produced video tonight in which he says getting coronavirus was a good thing.
I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing in disguise.
But little is known about the president's actual health. His doctor releasing this brief 5-sentence update that President Trump feels great, has been symptom-free for 24 hours, and has detectable levels of COVID antibodies in his blood.
When you look at the timing, it seems to be too early for the president to have mounted his own antibody response that's now measurable. So it's likely that any antibodies that are being measured in the bloodstream came from the antibody cocktail that he was given.
Dr. Sean Conley has not revealed whether President Trump has any lung damage or if he is still on the powerful steroid dexamethasone. CBS News has learned that so-called isolation carts have been set up inside the West Wing, stocked with medical gowns, surgical masks, eye goggles, and hand sanitizer. Staffers are supposed to wear these when getting within 6 feet of President Trump. The president's inner circle has been ravaged by the virus. At least a dozen people are now infected. The latest, senior advisor Stephen Miller, who tested positive Tuesday.
The president is the most tested man in America.
The White House won't say when President Trump last tested negative, raising doubts about whether he is actually tested every day, like his press secretary claimed, something the president himself contradicted this summer.
I do take probably on average a test every 2 days, 3 days.
The September 26th Rose Garden event for his Supreme Court nominee could be where he got infected.
We're looking at it in a detailed manner just because there were a number of people there that came down with it.
Now, in that 5-minute video that the president posted tonight, he talked about the experimental therapies that he's received, saying that he wants more Americans to get them as well. He also talked about a vaccine, acknowledging for the first time that it will not be available by Election Day. As he has often said, he blamed that simply on what he calls politics. Nora.
All right, in this case, it was the FDA. Ben Tracy, thank you.